So Topson going to go fast bottle. It looks Blightstone probably needs the extra regen. If he does believe that Void Spirit has generally better harass, he'll need to bottle a little bit faster. Leverage his mana. Flame Guard, too much magic damage here. Resonant Pulse only does 70 damage, so pretty easy to rely on Flame Guard.
Harass is on between the two brothers. Some movement going on in the other lanes too.
No, I don't believe it.
Okay. I like how we have side lane cam, you know, just in case anyone's wondering. For those of you joining in, it is all about this mid matchup. Topson versus Boom. Who's gonna come out on top?
Taking a decent amount of damage, but so did Saksa pulls away per usual. And Monkey's not gonna be able to lifesteal off of this either. So far, Topson doing great. 4 last hits, 4-1 versus the 3-0 of Boom here. Everything looking about normal. Normal mid lane, except for the whole drama that we have for.
Just seeing a lot of that missile spam coming out in the top lane. To have to deal with stuff. Seb slicing away here in the bottom lane, throwing his weight around. But it's still very evenly matched here in this mid lane.
Yep. So I guess Topson is better. Right. He won a game convincingly. I mean, both of these are heroes with a lot of experience. For whatever reason, just want profit in a little bit of trouble top.
No-Tail's taking a lot of harass. I think No-Tail is going to be the first blood, but Aramis is going to be next to fall. A little bit of trading top. Teller's Courier does get hunted down by Saksa as well.
Seb in trouble.
Seb. Nice Inkswell coming out. Another little interrupt, though, coming out from Saksa will make it so that he's able to walk away.
No regen off Seb, though, so I have to have some come up. He does have Tango coming, there's Sob coming for Saksa, which will help him get back in the lane. That's the lane to be careful of. You know, other than the mid lane, definitely the off lane is where the action will happen.
Aside from the extra couple denies that Topson has, very, very even. I don't even know what the items look like. We have our side lane cam, I don't know. All right, so we've got plenty of regen left over here on Topson, not as much left here for. Okay, the Courier's coming out over to mid lane, gonna refresh a little bit. Cam comes back up. I thought there was a big fight going on. I was like, oh gosh, I'm missing it, but we're just back to side lane.
One thing that makes a lot of sense about what Topson did here with the Blightstone is that, I mean, Boom obviously was using Sleight of Fist in the previous match as well, but it gives you 80 bonus hero damage, and by buying a Blightstone, you're increasing that by another 10% damage. So he's just like getting more harassment out of the direct clicking that he is doing, and that's helped him to go basically even in this regen trade. Part of the reason that Boom had a rough lane. The small variation here, maybe just safer play, and Topson's going to go even, basically showing that he's not concerned about this matchup. You know, it's kind of crazy to think that it still happens, but even against some of the best players in the world, we will sometimes get these really one-sided mid matchups.
They're reaching the 4-minute rotation here. Some of the supports are making their way over now. He's gonna try his luck in the bottom end.
Are fortified.
Just hanging out over there.
Gonna delay Topson. He wanted to use Flame Guard to push out. Now as a result, there's no way he has top while still getting last hits. So doesn't matter that much. Not really. He's still up in last hits. Topson has the matchup under better, but Seb pressured again here.
In the bottom lane, they have the Inkswell. They start winding up, and that'll connect. Nice Impale again coming out from Saksa. Boundless, not quite enough damage to get the kill on Seb. He's had a couple close calls at this. So I do see that Boom has teleported out of his lane.
Back to heal, I guess. He wasn't able to get the rune himself, obviously, be top instead of bottom, so had to go back a little bit normal. Topson at 5.5, so more advantage to him, but it's not insurmountable this game. I have an okay laning stage. Once he hits 6, we'll see him probably move around the map, probably to the bot lane to really. The bot lane, Saksa. Coming up for stun. Yep, and Seleri seals it.
Refuse gold given.
Dire's middle tower
Word is teleported right back down to the bottom area now. He's refreshed, ready to go again. Closer to the level 6 over on Topson. Like
That's really
poking that Seleri in the bottom lane, not to be able to get.
Really see Topson getting on, but currently gonna pressure him. Crucially, Topson just waiting. He's been doing a nice thing in the mid. He basically waits to use Flame Guard until Boom uses at least one of his. So you need both Remnant and Resonant Pulse to break through the Flame Guard. So as long as he just waits to use it until Boom goes for a last hit with Resonant Pulse, then he basically gets to abuse Flame Guard in a more effective way.
Bottom lane, it looks like Seb is taking a lot of damage. The Boundless comes in. They finally managed to get that kill of that pesky Underlord.
Not bad. The fact that it took that long was really towards the last pick of the draft. Shad's gonna have an above average laning stage, but his last hits are not like insane incredible. Gyro's doing better. 36 and 17 on Gyro. 26 and 2. The one's still doing great considering he has the weaker carry traditionally. The Gyro, I think this is a start.
See Boom making a rotation. Now actually gonna go top, maybe slow down mid one. His Aramis is in position here. Does manage to go land the shackle. His is taking a lot of damage. He has to step forward though. Call down coming out from mid one. Not gonna be quite enough damage. His is able to step out of it, and Boom collects himself a kill.
This ward spot is going Star one. I don't know if
Radiant's
it
middle
might not be
tower
old
is
enough,
under
but
attack.
either way, mid one gets punished. Now mid pressure comes in to offset this. Boom rotates over to help play. With no natural step abilities, he's got to be a little careful. And a DD on top, so look how much damage they're getting into this tower. Seleri's going to try to slow down the stroke of fate. It's going to help a little bit, but keeps her lasting a long time.
Throughout the Remnant, draw Topson back underneath the tower. Saksa's also here, though. They're going to try to punish this. Position looking for the Impale. Will be able to land over here onto Boom as they'll try to save him. As they throw the Inkswell out, they can turn this around. They do manage to get the kill onto No Tail, but Boom will go down as Topson's able to just go right forward. Final hit off.
Tower is under
Mid one rotates as well. They want to just take this tower stupidly early here. And they've still got the DD. This is like one of the most valued DDs I've seen in a long time. And yeah, tower goes down at 7 minutes. All they lose out of this is slight farming time for Gyrocopter, basically. Yeah, they lost the, Nature's Prophet 5 position. Who cares? Absolutely great rotation here from OG to solidify this map control. Now the game's going to get a little bit harder for Boyd's here. He's not going to be able to just, play in the mid lane, hit creeps, accelerate. He's going to have to move around and get kills.
Shad needs to be so careful. The Pit of Malice comes out. He throws down the Boundless, but they have the Impale. And just like that, down goes Shad. They're just playing with so much tempo right now, Purge.
They are, yeah. And now Gyro basically making use of his levels. He has a lot of damage output as a carry at this phase of the game, and if you gank correctly, then it's absolutely going to pay off. So big rotations there. Topson thinking about heading over, but for now he's just going to farm. We'll see if they try to respond to this, but it looks like they're just trying to do the opposite thing on the other side of the map. Dive the no-tail.
Yep, they definitely spot him over here. The Hex will come out, and we do get these teleports, though, coming out very, very quickly. No Tail taking a lot of damage. He goes down. Topson now trying to punish Boom. He managed to put the missile over on him. Monkey King, though. Shad standing up on the tree line. He's going to hop down. He sees mid one. Doesn't quite manage to land the Bandless, though, as mid one tries to run away. He's using the roar. He'll find the kill, but they also manage to take down Kazu as now Shad. He tries to dodge. He cannot do it. Topson gets himself a double kill. Aramis now trying to run away. Seleri, he's got the Inkswell. He's trying everything, but he cannot save the Shaman, as now the rest of the side of OG, they're here, and they're ready to try to get the final kill. Topson gets the triple kill with that last light.
Under attack.
Man, what good play there by OG. No-tail baiting, basically saying, I'm going to run for it, haha, and they use their spells that instantly gets canceled because they, at the same moment that he gets shown, they start teleporting all their cores in. And even though they lost the Gyrocopter, Topson getting all of this net worth is certainly going to put them in a good spot. He went for a quick Orb of Corrosions, queuing up Maelstrom afterwards. His damage output and amount of disable is just really strong. He's also just left his Flame Guard at 2 points. He's all about disable and nuke right now with his, and his steering chains is so leveled up now. We're kind of in a similar situation as last game. The only difference being that his opponent is not as behind as they were.
Very quickly turning into the Topson show again, like we saw in game number 2. You gotta be a little bit nervous about that if you're a Viking.
Dire's top tower.
Ooh, cancel TP in the top lane. No Tail trying to buy himself enough time, but they do have the damage. Kazu will find the kill.
I think one of the other crucial difference though is that Gyro's not going to be as stabilized as the PA was in the last games. OG will try to defend top tower.
Careful here. They have vision on him. the double damage pop, but they'll turn around, they'll clean up some of these boars and these little necro book trees. Nice goal.
Much harder for Gyro or for B.
They almost timed out.
So much effort into that. I mean, you don't ever know how long they're necessarily going to be up for. Yeah, and here's the issue with Gyro. Pressure's out the lane a little bit. It's picked up a Falcon Blade, normal Gyro item here, but they rotate and defend against it. He's got to just farm a little bit slower than he might want to, but now they're rotating bottom. Now that they've defended top, they feel like they can pressure themselves.
Behold, my searing
Topson has his eyes over here on the Monkey King. Shad trying to hide in the trees. The teleports are coming out from the side of Viking. If you do manage to go and hold Topson over in the corner, they have the astral step, they have the rest. Now goes Topson. They took down Aramis. Shad's not looking too great here. Doesn't have to get the lifesteal off, and still, boom, he's able to find the kill on Saksa with a little bit of help from Seleri.
Great rotation from Aramis there to react to that, locking down Topson, making sure that he could not escape from the danger with the wards and everything, and they keep Shad alive. They need a little bit more damage. They needed a homing missile to hit, I don't know, maybe somebody else instead, but it all went on Shad. Shad ends up getting himself, and Topson's first big error, and a lot of gold going to boom. He Void Spirit. By the way, he's 4-1-1. The laning stage didn't go amazing, but he's been there for the crucial rotations. Even though he's died once, he's doing a great job to offset this.
I mean, that's what you have to do as a good mid player, right? If your lane go correctly, you've got to go and make your own opportunities.
Got a game. Mid one, level 9 here, queuing up an S and Y.
Are scanning.
Bucks are rotating down, ready to fight as well. See if they grab Shad.
Smoke play coming up. Topson and Saksa are just combing through the jungle and maybe thinking of making a play over into the mid lane, but there's no one there. Shad, though, take a missile to the
Radiant's
head,
bottom tower
eventually.
has fallen.
Not under any direct pressure here. Top lane, they are trying to make the moves over onto Seb. He's very tanky, but he's not tanky enough because he does go down to Kazu.
Dire's
Hunting
top
now for
tower
this
is
Monkey
under
King. They're trying to break
attack.
his tree, but at the last second, Shad, he's just hippity-hoppity. Land over, and he's eventually found by Topson. And he is just going to get chopped down here.
Is under attack.
fear not your death.
Fairy Trinket definitely going a long ways there. Had to do a lot of remnants, a lot of extra mana, and able to go all the way and grab him. It's a nice advantage. Big advantage now for OG, despite losing Seb on the opposite side of the map. And now they invade. I think Gyro pivoted on item builds. Interesting how many different items they use up during this game, but he goes Mask of Madness in the end.
Do we like
Something that he
It's-
can use. Yeah, it's one of Gyro's issues is he doesn't jungle very well compared to most carries. You can solve this by buying Maelstrom maybe or Ags, but both of those items are a little bit slow to get. Mask of Madness kind of solves the same problem. A lot of attack speed, allows him to jungle without having to spend tons of mana, and should allow him to transcend other items. But I'm not really sure where he'll go after this. Common to go Ags, but some people find that it's just weak right now for like BKB fighting items, and then they just get Gyro in the fights constantly to help leverage his net worth that way.
Well, I think if they're playing tempo, doesn't a BKB here?
It does, yeah. Yeah, for that reason, basically. He can show up to the fights, still feels valuable without having to worry about just being chain bursted by magic damage.
Actually, they can go with it. They even use the Serpent Wards to help out. Nice.
For now, game is pretty even across the map, but small net worth advantage for Ode still. Topson's in his Maelstrom, he'll farm a little bit faster here, but really just good splits of farm. Saksa getting close to his Blink Dagger, about 1,000 away. Once he gets that, it'll be really easy for him to follow up on allies. And it'll probably be like slight chains from Ember into Blink Stun from Nyx, or they'll do Hit a Mouse on Underlord. They're smoking in, they might find Topson though.
Topson there, boom, jumping forward immediately. Remnant, he sidesteps it, nicely done here by Topson. The rest of the team, though, quickly collapsing again. Mid one leading the charge. They're already walking out. Both the Rod and Aether Remnant draw back in. See Seb staying close by. Saksa standing on the high ground, hoping he can get some sort of information, but they do have the Necros online.
Very dangerous for them, but he manages to get out using True.
Ooh, it's a nice Remnant, just anticipating that they're going to try to go for the room, so they go forward. A little damage over on the step, but Aramis over on the side. They get the double chain off here. And can they finish up, though? Do they have the damage? They take down Aramis. Now they use the floor. Room's taking so much damage over on the back lines. It's not looking super great for him as Kazu falls. Boom, he's got a missile coming for his head. Seb trying to cut them off. That Seleri's over here. Nice dodge, though. The 12 tries to push them away. Nice silence, making sure that they can't spike Carapace, but they do, of course, have the Pit of Malice. So down goes Seleri, and Boom is just left to hide in the trees.
Very ready to fight there. Nicely done. Despite the double shackle, they still end up staying alive through it. It felt like there wasn't damage follow-up. I don't think Monkey King was there, probably, is what happened. If Monkey King's there, drops his ulti, damages them while they're getting shackled, surely they can fight. But replay once again. Take a look at the map. Yep, Monkey King all the way in the top lane. So I don't know if he showed on the creep wave just there or what, but they ran in, they forced the fight here. Nice spike Carapace actually to limit Boom's damage. And then the Pit of Malice that just limited what Boom could do damage-wise. So they just got to pick off their targets here and there after the big cooldowns were used on the Viking side. Monkey King did start rotating over, but it just wasn't worth it at that fight. All of their big spells have been used, and it was better for him to go back to farming.
Low death there. All right, so 5K net worth lead going over to the side of OG.
Speedy rule of
Saksa is
haste.
going to be just a little annoying here. It's going to poke away at Shad. You can see, though, that Ember is hot on his heels, and so is Nature's Prophet. They can make the play here. Shackles will land. Remnant zipping forward here. They need to be careful. There's going to be the Hex. Just a little bit outside of this Wukong's command. This is not looking great for Topson. He needs to get out of there, and he needs to get out of there fast, but he's not going to be able to as the final hit comes off. No remnants were left. Maybe just a little bit too greedy.
Look, that was a true Topson play right there. Just some crazy against the wall doing insane stuff with all of his rem. When he slighted, I was like, all right, he's gonna remnant. I click on him, so far away from it. Another kill here, maybe.
It's a good dust here as they'll go and grab themselves a Saksa and also grab themselves a neutral item. Efficiency.
There are lots of raw HP. All right, and now that they've thrown their lives away, doing a little greedy stuff against the Monkey King.
Dire's middle tower is under
Basically,
attack.
Boom, Shad did the right thing there. He got off the tree so that Ember Spirit couldn't come out. Now they gotta defend.
The roar comes out. Gogo dropped the Pit of Malice, but it doesn't matter because the Starter Captain's just dead. He's not going to be here to go and defend.
Radiant's top tower is under
The
attack.
light comes out, though, here from Topson. They're going to try to clean up these Necro books at the very least. I get a little space here on the tower as the Serpent Wards do chonk down on it a bit.
Honestly, not bad. I think that was pretty worthwhile considering they lost their carry for it. They defend the tower, keep map control up. A lot of big cooldowns here. Saksa already hunting too.
The next label play.
Aramis is trying to hold onto this Nature's Prophet for enough time. Flipping away. You have Boom following up here with the Astral Step. Hex comes out again. And they find themselves a quick pick-off on No Tail, but they might be able to do a little something here against Shad. Nope. Besides, it's a little bit too risky. There's more people in the vicinity.
Still struggling to finish there, about 200 gold away, but he's got other stuff to do. It's tough in this circumstance where, like, if he just sits in his lane, yeah, he's gonna finish Blink, but then your team holds pressure off for that period of time, and it feels a little bit dangerous to slow down. Full whip, very solid. Queuing up a Crimson Guard, but it's all the physical damage of the enemy squad. Very smart pickup here.
So is it the BKB that we're seeing for the Gyrocopter? Is that next? Yes.
400 gold away meal. Grobo really good on Gyro. Lots of magic damage from the hero, so perfect item for now. Slowing things down a little bit on the OG side. I don't think it's too bad or anything. Everything's looking all right. They have
Radiant's
decent
top tower
scaling.
is under
I have
attack.
less faith in Gyro as an ultra late game carry than a lot of other heroes, but I think with this kind of safe itemization, it could help limit the amount of time he dies and therefore stabilize.
Yeah, because we haven't seen a lot of this here.
Eggs up on Monkey King as well, so his farm rate's gonna go up even more than it was before. But yeah, Gyro's actually pack, so he's pretty happy actually. I don't know if he knows that for sure. Farming well. 3, 3, and 4 and having this much net worth over your opponents, that's because OG's been playing really aggressive on the map. Maybe it's like one of the reasons, like the point of Topson's that bottom is technically bad, but it did create space, and like doing stuff like that, even if he has some misses sometimes, is part of the reason that Shad's net worth is just not the same right now.
The Great Hawk just spotted out the fact that there was a smoke play came out from the side of OG, although they are split up, so...
Cool by No Tail, uses treants to block camp respawns. It's another reason that they're just not farming as fast. We haven't seen this in a long time, but It's not super commonly, but spending time like that rather than
Radiant's top
farming, yeah,
tower
block
is
the
under
camps,
attack.
less time, less net worth for your opponents.
Radiant's top tower has
There
fallen.
goes the tower. Saksa is doing a little bit of hunting here, realizing there's no detection over on the side. Still have it though over here in castle area. Careful.
Dire's middle
Great.
tower is under attack.
Great for OG when they arrow, but
They're waiting for him. Look at this trap. They're hoping that Ember's gonna come right back over here to this remnant.
never do something.
Enjoying his time here in the bottom lane. Isn't is it back? Spending a lot of time just camping it too. We got double there. Topson top.
Almost got BKB of his own. He goes for it,
Goes for it, but were they? No, they weren't there anymore.
and he still hits the small camp. He's like, eh,
He's not.
if they were here, I'd be dead.
5k net worth lead at around 20 minutes. This gyro has been farming very, very well.
Queuing up Ags next. He's got the survivability from BKB, so now his team fight's still comfortable. Fine Ags, more raw HP, better team fight, just more raw damage, but he's getting smoked down. There's a blink on Beastmaster actually. If they spot him at all, he gets
Oh, they spotted themselves a gyrocopter. They'll use the roar, they'll use the headstand, as he will collect the kill.
Beautiful ink swell on initiators with long duration stun. So good. Makes like any hero killable.
Wukong's men here in the bottom lane trying to push back on Saksa. Do you have to be careful though, because the rest of the team are coming in. They know where this monkey can get. Look at the 4-man gang just to take down Shad.
Comforting.
Really good pressure by Saksa. He's not afraid to do these little pressure moments. And yeah, they're gonna get Roche out of this, but not terrible all things considered. Trading the carries for the carries. That's gonna do some damage.
He runs in, but it's still going to the Radiant, and they still get themselves the Aegis. Oh, nice hail, Saksa. He finds the kill on Kazu, and is not going to be able to go and get the kill on Aramis. No. Courier also
Dire's
goes
turret
down.
has been killed.
Oh, he wants it so bad. Oh, the Necro dies. Too bad. Good pressure though. I mean, kills and spawns.
Radiant's
Is
middle tower
solid.
is under
Forcing your
attack.
opponents back. They get to try camp now. Buys them more time for the Ember Spirit. And Aegis, while really effective, it's not necessarily on the guy you want it to be on. You probably want that on Monkey King there. That way it becomes harder for you to commit to killing him. But now, kill Monkey King, and yeah, Boom is still there, doing AoE damage, getting some harassment in and stuff, but Monkey King is like by far the bigger damage output for a slightly longer fight. So.
Now, are you at all concerned? Like, we're looking at the net worth now, and people seem fairly close in terms of, you know, who's on top. Are we concerned about that for OG just because they are supposed to be playing such a tempo lineup?
I mean, they could have been playing a crazy tempo lineup where they go really ahead and
Radiant's
close the game up, but I think they're still fine with their current positioning. It's not like they have weird cores or anything like that. Like, yeah, they're maybe not the most meta, but all the heroes scale completely fine. Gyro's ahead of top net worths, and he's the hero that's maybe the most vulnerable. They've got gank potential. They kind of have all the pieces they might need.
Saksa, there's it. Roar coming in. Nice roll bind. He's going to be able to hold them both in place. Plus the hack. They need a little bit more damage, though. Do they have it? Can they take him down? There's going to be the shackle hold. Need a little bit more. They have the BKB over here onto mid one. They need to put out more physical damage. And I'm not sure they quite have it, although Shad coming in now. It's looking pretty darn good. Boom taking so much damage. He is going to fall, but he had the Aegis. He's absolutely fine. Shad, though, needing to be a little bit careful. They'll be able to go through up the pit of malice here. As they're gonna try to man fight, Seb tries to get away, but they have the balance. Kezi making his way over. And there's the leap over, the drag back in. This is looking like a dead Seb. It's gonna take a lot of damage, though, to take him down, but eventually Shad will collect the kill.
Hit initiation once again, locking down mid one so that his BKB just ends up coming really, really late there. And one thing that also hurt him, I think he ended up killing one of the Necro minions right before he got stunned, so his HP just dropped low really, really. Also, because he was so low, he couldn't pop Massive Madness. That was a little bit of a tough thing, too. Losing the bounty and your life.
Oh, no, he's gonna be merciful.
Not bad. Okay. But yeah, just a little limited on mid one so far. It's difficult for him to engage because nobody else in his team really going in other than maybe Nyx or Emperor, but in these circumstances, it's actually kind of surprising me that his net worth is still the most farmed hero. He's 3, 5, and 4. But he's just been doing such a good job farming that it justifies it, I guess.
Seeing some more push here in
Dire's
the
middle
bottom lane.
tower
You have
is
those
under
big old
attack.
treants coming in now from there.
Still have their mid tower. A little bit low, but one in there.
He went back for the Ags over here.
Radiant's bottom
close.
tower is under attack.
For gold to go, and he's got a out there. Going somewhere they go bottom with everybody. Yeah, they want first.
Radiant
And
structures
mid instantly
are
down the bottom.
fortified.
Very cool move. Nice and fast.
And I don't think that Viking's going to be able to get down here quite fast enough. They
Agents
just lack the sort of movement that they have coming out from the side of OG.
Radiant's
Oh, they're
bottom
just
tower
already
is
camped
under
out
attack.
here. It's pretty scary to go into that.
Radiant's
yeah,
bottom
bottom
tower
tower
has fallen.
They're probably gonna have
Dire's
to look.
structures are fortified.
Okay, they're going.
Dire's middle
Maybe
tower
Topson can get
is
it.
under
See?
attack.
Pushing here in this bottom lane. Pretty aggressive here. Fall down comes out. Hoping to just clear up some of these creeps. That
Radiant's
necro
bottom
book.
tower is under attack.
Back down. Kazu getting into position here. Does manage to get that roar off. Saksa was looking for the counter initiation. You managed to set up Boom. This is not looking good for him, but they managed to go. They get the soul bind off and the Wukong's command. Boom's actually going to be allowed to survive as the set goes down, and Shad is just wailing away over here, trying to just defend his towers. Oh, the jump forward again coming out from Boom. They get the silence off. He has to be careful though. The Aether Remnant over on the side. Seleri goes down. Seleri, he will buy back here. His axes are being thrown. The Hex comes out. They've trapped him in the wards here for Topson. Do they have enough damage though? Can they keep him locked down long enough? Do they have the silence? It's looking damn good. Somehow though, Topson's still alive and he's gonna escape with 100-something hit points. Maybe no Kez is on his heels. That's a double kill now.
What a big fight for Viking there. Very crucial that they were able to keep their cores alive for as long as they did. Void Spear gets a little bit in danger. Monkey King gets a big Black King Bar initiation, and ultimately OG just got a little bit too aggressive on the high ground, and they couldn't deal with the BKB cores. They could not touch Monkey King. Gyro is not going to deal well with Monkey King, at least until he picks up another item or two, if that. But like fighting, like he's a magic immune, and he's got like 24 armor from his ulti. Like you just can't touch him as a gyrocopter. So I need some cracks in their armor here. Saksa missed a crucial blink stun as well. So just a couple small mistakes from OG to once again try to force the tempo too much in. Rough for them.
I love that play from Aramis over there. He sees the double damage. He sees that treant. He was going over there to try to deny it, and he just throws out the shackle so that way Boom can grab up the double. I like that.
It's a big run for.
Because he knows you can't chip it down fast enough. Don't worry.
Slow it
I'm
down even
saving
further.
it for
It's
you.
very important. Wow, he had it. Incredible.
We had a very large fourth lead over at the side of OG, and we have shifted considerably. It's about even here.
Really looking scary for them. Mid one's queued up a rapier. Maybe you get there eventually. It's a perfect gyrocopter item. Is it going to be enough? Maybe. It'll help.
Oh,
But here
there's
comes
a
the fight.
lot of people here. Seb considering it. They use the stuff already. They'll drag back over here, try to take them out. The mid one is here. Got the BKB over here on Boom, followed up with the roar coming out from Kansas. Seb is the first to go down. This gyrocopter cannot stand toe-to-toe with them, as he also will end up, we lose No Tail during all of that to Boom. Saksa is going to be able to teleport out.
That's a big teamfight loss for OG. I mean, once or twice here or there, it's fine, but now it feels really bad. And I think the crucial thing was Grimstroke's silence there. Throws it onto the Underlord. Underlord cannot dispel that with Guardian Greaves. And as a result, he doesn't get any spells off other than his items. No Pit of Malice, no Firestorm. And that just means that their opponents can do whatever the heck they want in that fight. It doesn't force
Dire's
BKBs
middle
defensively.
tower is under
They just
attack.
get to do everything they want. Gyrocopter didn't get BKB off, but realistically, I don't think it mattered. They got everything they wanted on top of their opponents and heavily punished. And now things are starting to look really bad for OG.
They even go and they use the wards
Dire's
here.
middle tower
Saksa's
is
going to be
under
pretty
attack.
happy about that.
It's fine, but realistically, not much is happening right now. Is Roche up anytime soon? Could respawn here.
BKB puts out a lot of damage over here onto KZ. He's gonna be able to teleport out, it looks like. Yeah, Shad is now trying to man fight, and you can see that the Underlord is making his way over. Glimmer King, though, coming out. They have the detection. They'll drop a ward. Shad with the BKB is gonna be able to just teleport away. That looks like Seleri most likely going to die here, as he does throw out the soul bind. He's hoping he can buy a little bit more time, maybe make some space, but down he goes. But over in the mid lane here, Aramis, and boom, they just find a kill on mid one. Aramis with the Hex again, boom. Doesn't want to stay here any longer. He knows that everyone's on their way, but they teleport out.
Pressuring the map so much. I feels like Ember Spirit's just not a useful hero here, honestly. That's what I'm feeling out of this. He had a great laning stage. He pressured well and got some kills. Yeah, he made some mistakes, but also like his impact compared to Void Spirit or Monkey King just doesn't feel the same in these fights. Maybe it's different if they have a different carry or something like that, but it just, like, he's slight chaining people, and that's fine, but it's not doing enough. They need like save or something to save Gyrocopter, but like their opponents are just outmaneuvering them. They have a lot more built-in mobility. That's got to be at least some of it. Their disables and their kills just feel easier.
One of the things that I always see with like a Gyrocopter, generally, something to buff them, right? Or as Brian would say, you know, a steroid. You know, whether it's an IO paired up with Gyrocopter or, you know, Bloodlust, anything. Is that one of the reasons why that feels like it's falling a little flat right now?
I would
Dire's
agree
top
if
tower
mid one's
is
net
under
worth
attack.
hadn't been so good.
Okay.
Like he clearly stacked, his allies stacked for him. He farmed efficiently, but every engagement has been him getting stunned and chain stunned to low, then he pops BKB, but it's too late for a hero like Gyro. So that's what's made the game hard. Maybe it's itemization, but in reality it's probably mostly just that his opponents have been engaging on him and not vice versa. But it's hard for OG to initiate. Like it has to be Nyx maybe, or they want to set Underlord in the front. He gets initiated on, his opponents respond once Underlord gets initiated on, but it's like they're not turning well enough. Underlord isn't quite tanky enough here, I think.
Yeah, I mean, that's
at least against the silence.
That's been the problem, is that, you know, Seb has been very forward. We see them, you know, start out with that hit of malice, holding people in place, but BKBs are up and running, and he's a tanky boy, but it just doesn't feel like he is.
Yeah, they're putting enough damage into him. He can't infinitely tank. He's got the 20 health regen talent at least now, so that'll buy him a little bit more in the fights, but maybe he should have bought Hood a little faster this game. The Crimson made a lot of sense, but maybe Hood into Crimson would have been overall better first. Kind of hard to say. I just feel like OG hasn't had a normal team fight, with the exception of like maybe one or two. Almost every engagement has been Boom taking good engagements, getting pickoffs, and starting fights on the.
That Viking, they're playing very tight right now. Around here in the castle area, they get wards off. I feel like this is very smart the way that they're playing right now. We have the Shard over online for Shadow Shaman. That is like one of my favorites.
Cool.
So good at pushing out waves, so good at performing ganks.
Lane stuff like that, very good. Sitting as 5 on the high ground here, they kind of feel like OG's going to be in slight desperation mode, so that's usually when people start doing smoke ganks together. In reality, they're just hitting creeps, so it's fine. I think mid one's still queuing up Rapier. I think that's definitely where the game is starting to go a little bit. He's got the Rocket Barrage talent. Maybe he'll go Shard. Talk about it being like it does an insane amount of damage, but again against BKBs, not good.
Yeah.
With Rapier, they could certainly win this game, I think. They've got to buy time for that.
It's scary a lot of the times though, because I feel like a lot of times we see mid one queue up the Rapier, it's always where he feels a bit squishy or he's having difficulty staying alive in a lot of these fights.
OG does like drafting lineups that aim for this like really coordinated timing thing. So you might like you can say yes, it's always in these moments of desperation, but they're drafting lineups that are aiming for this window, and they don't really care. It's like they're aiming for the window. If they don't miss it, they just keep trying again because they're OG, and eventually they're gonna like really understand the meta and the patch and what they can do and what they can do. That I respect about them a lot. So even if it looks kind of weak here, obviously DPC is a huge deal, but it's like an OG special. They pick stuff that they think makes sense, and they're gonna do it anyways, even if it ends up being a little weird.
I mean, we've talked about it time and time again too, the fact that Secret often does things that seem a little bit strange, or just not really the meta, but it's people that create the meta, usually the best at what they do.
Death and gold are linked.
And some people are a little worried just because, you know, it is the DPC, it is every game. Really matters here. Tough when you see one of your favorite teams going into something that seems a little strange to you. In fact, Topson, he pops the BKB. It's kind of a weird initiation here. Might be able to go and take down the Grimstroke. They have the vision, so they don't have to worry about that X-Blow coming in. Step forward, though, coming out from Boom. There's going to be a buyback too from the Grimstroke. The Hex comes out. Boom jumping onto the back lines here. Monkey King Shad getting into position. They want to try to grab Topson. Be able to. So that is a BKB charge down on Topson, down on Boom, and a buyback now from Seleri.
X changing everything for Ember, because now what he gets to do is force his opponents into weird situations, forcing them to pop BKBs. He just dove the whole team by himself, and with help of Saksa on the backline, killed the Grimstroke, one of the scarier heroes that's preventing Seb from being able to play his games. So he doesn't have BKB right now, but the speed and the skill that Topson is wielding is certainly something that can force mistakes like this.
They know that
Viking on the defense.
They just saw the double damager and disappeared. Thanks to 4. Viking very much on the defensive. But realizing that, OG, Delta split, go back to farming.
They'll clear the mid wave. They'll continue to sit together, using the Necro to spot out Invis heroes to deward any wards. Letting it a little bit of time. I want to kill the Necro.
Yeah, this was very surprising to me when he zipped in after Boom, and then he's just in the middle of all of these here.
But with BKB, it's kind of the same situation that OG's been struggling with. Their opponents use BKB, they can't fight. Well, he pops BKB, he's super mobile. Unless he gets roared there, they can't lock him down. Leveler picked up, and mid one only about 1,600 gold away. Lots of attack. Leveler really good too, bonus damage. If they do want to fight, he's going to tread buildings stupidly fast with Rape. Prism picked up as well. Now over to Ember Spirit, even lower Remnant recharge times. I like Flicker. I was going to say Flicker on OG would have been amazing. Out of the silences from Void Spirit.
I got lucky enough to find that on. Charge doing a lot of work here over here. Aramis is lanes. They're down off the map, which immediately, of course, does get countered by no tick. Push it. Roche. They really want to seem to get in there, but haven't found that advantageous way of getting in.
Double damage.
Mid one having a big crisis here with his neutral items. He's got 3 really good ones. Penage, for Ninja Gear, Leveler. He's like, oh god, I want them all. Also good. He's gonna sit on Ninja Gear though.
Just keep one in your backpack for now, you know. Time to hit buildings later on, hopefully.
If they win a fight, he'll swap in Leveler across building. Quite get the range. But bad, doesn't. Almost got the rapier. 70 gold to go across the map.
I feel like that road is going to be even more important for the side of OG.
Yeah, with the rapier, absolutely.
Sitting there though. Got a couple skirmishes around the pit. And we do have quite the pressure coming out from No Tail, especially when you have those really big treants. They do so much damage. Health as well.
Beast treants, if I remember.
They're not obese, Purge. We've talked about it. They're just very voluptuous. But look at that. They just immediately clean them up. That sweet, sweet 18 to 24 gold that you get for those.
Not rapier.
It's done.
They really want to go in. They've got they do have better vision around the Roche right now. There's a lot of sentries on the side of Viking, but they got to be so careful.
They have a gem too now over on Viking.
He killed all the trees by Roche too, so no Monkey King able to stand on the cliff. That's what they were waiting for, I think. Scary. Hawk is in the area. It's used.
All right, smoke is up. Wait to catch them by surprise here as Boom very forward. Use your initiation again. We talked about this.
They can catch somebody with a blink impale with Gyro doing damage for 2.5 seconds. That's a kill.
The Necro books out. Do a little scouting. is the arcane up and running over there. Topson bottles it up. They're aware.
So
Got a nice ward here down over on the low ground. Both pop. Just a brief flirtation back and forth between both teams. They're very reluctant to hard
The
commit here.
seeds of fortune.
so scary. There's no buyback on Gyro. I mean, if he dies, Rapier's gone. The game is effectively over. Rapier in the hands of either Void Spirit or Monkey King would be really terrifying.
Dire are scanning.
So yeah, they have to be so careful what they do here. Dire now scanning because they're a little outmaneuvered for a moment. Gyro does have a TP available, so he could go to the shrine. The fight does start happening. Topson's got buyback. Most people have buyback.
Topson's just gonna spend a little time chilling in the trees here. Let's have the arcane rune bottle that he got earlier. He just keeps seeing the battle of the units. Treants go in. Boars, birds, necro units. But they're in the pit now. He needs to get over there soon. How do they approach this? Hawk's gonna go out. Trying to gain a little bit of vision. Zip forward here, coming out from Topson. Immediately the dodge from Boom.
Oh, they go next.
He's a Yule, so over here onto Kazi, but he does have the BKB, and over on the back, he's going and dropping down all of the damage that he possibly can. So trying to get everybody into the car, but mid-one, he goes down. Vine Rapier picked up now on Void Spirit.
Fallen to the radiant.
A rough one. They kind of committed. Topson jumps in, trying to slow things down, but they use the trees near this large camp to jump in the rest of the way. And once he's in and pops BKB, he also stunned Gyro pretty early there. BKB didn't come out on mid one just fast enough, and as a result, he just stayed way too long. Took too long for him to get out of that fight. Now they got to get the Rapier back.
Yes, they do. That is what they're looking for here, but there's a lot of damage being dumped out over onto Saksa. Will go to get the stun out of Topson, repping forward. He's looking to see if maybe they can get it down, but not quite enough damage as finally they do manage to get that Aegis Cage. Trying to run away. He's just being chased down by Topson. He's gonna go down. Boom, stepping forward, has his eyes over onto Saksa, but he's too far away. They're gonna be able to go. They fight. They take him down. They get the Rapier back online now here for Ember Spirit as Shad is forced to run away. Yules will set up very nicely for the Impale. Topson coming in hot here. He's got no tail as well. No, you can see BKB coming out. Turn right back around again. They get the Hex. They're holding them in place. They have the bells. Down goes Topson. They can go and they can pick that Rapier right back up again as soon as they can get over there. And it is going to be Monkey King snatching it back up. No tail on the run. He's trying to get away. Saksa, he takes so much damage from that one monkey on the back lines. Buybacks coming out en masse. This Rapier is just a game of hot potato.
We've seen some net worth swings in the last 45 seconds. All right, well, this carries the very dead. Topson trying to buy prep for his Lincoln Spear. He needed it in that fight for sure. He had the Rapier, but the Shaman blinked forward, utilizes BKB, and guaranteed the lockdown to secure the Rapier. Went back into the other hands, but I mean, based on how things are looking, this game is still potentially winnable for OG. They just got to get the Rapier back. At least the Aegis is gone, so any pick you get puts you in a great spot. But this is what's scary about it, is that Monkey King now has the Rapier himself, arguably the better between himself and Void Spirit, and he's queuing up a Satanic. So if this guy just stays alive, fight's over, and his raw HP's in.
Be a huge upset. Viking not sitting even in the top 4 right now. I think it'll surprise a lot of people if they're able to take this game.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It would definitely be a big, really mess up. I mean, it's like, who's supposed to go down in Tier 1, Division 1 in Europe? Somebody's gonna get disappointed, basically. This could really shake things up.
Has to be a loser, unfortunately.
To go stomp Division 2.
Right. It's all part of the growing process here, Burge. You know, the only way you get better is if you start playing better opponents. Otherwise, you're just a big fish in a small pond.
Good one thinking about Butterfly next. It's got his curse in there. Yeah, he's fine out. A little interesting. 25 agility. Give him some armor. It's okay. It's an help against Rapier's True Strike and all, but disgusting with Divine Rapier pickup. Big swings the last couple fights. Arrow's net worth below almost everybody's on his team. More, at least the two. Underlord We're all sitting high.
Where's my
Not fun to
pension?
lose your rapier.
Big risk, big reward sort of play. It's funny because we have seen like more and more of these coming out because we see teams, especially OG, looking for those very tempo timings. I kind of miss the old days where it was like the desperation play, right? Where you would see them pick one up and everyone would just get so excited. You'd be breathless. You're like, oh my God, anything could happen. And even though this game, you know, it did get picked up to be that tempo timing, I still really think that this is super fun to watch them around, and especially when you see it trade so many hands like.
Radiant
go.
are scanning.
Coming out here.
Got Lincoln.
So they pop the Lincolns with the Hex. Saksa running right back in, but there it is. There's the Rourke with the Wukong's command, and they just absolutely blow up Saksa. Topson goes down. No buyback on either one of these guys, as now Viking will just slice through the tower like a hot
Dire's
knife
top tower
butter
has fallen.
and make their way towards
Radiant's
those
middle
victory.
tower is under attack.
Managed to farm the butterfly in the meantime, but yeah, 2 heroes dead. In danger.
Oh God, the step forward immediately. Very far forward. Look at this damage it doesn't have. Let's BKB mid-1. He's trying to get out. He can't. He's immediately dead. No buyback on the Starcopter. You do have all of these trees making their way into the Radiant base, but look at how fast Viking just slices through these buildings.
Radiant structures.
Fortifications coming out on both sides.
Radiant's
This is gonna
bottom
be a
tower
very
is under
rough one
attack.
here for OG. Again,
Dire's
no
top
buyback
tower
on
is
the
full.
cores, no
Radiant's
buyback on
middle
Saksa.
tower
They're looking to just end this. They want to just take this victory. The Hex comes out as they just go right immediately over onto No-Tail. They get the kill there. And they'll take down Steph. He buys that. No-Tail is still alive over on the side, but the building, they're going down per Steph. He's trying to throw his body at them, trying to get any sort of distraction, but there's too much damage coming out from Shad as he murders them. They go and they get the shackles off over the back line. This is looking like a dead No-Tail. GG gets called. Viking have done it. They have taken the series from OG, and they're all smiles. Look at them.
Radiant
They should be. I mean, that's a big upset here. They were one of the lower ranked in the groups right now with their standings. They upset the 2-time TI champs. They steal their rapiers. They shut down their cores. And OG doing some weird